today's sensation. I'm your host, Dan, and in this episode, I am going to be looking at the magazine MINESHAFT. MINESHAFT is a little, it's almost like it's a small magazine. It's like an arty kind of magazine, and I don't use that term in a bad way like some people might. It's kind of like well, I was going to say chapbook, but not really. It's an offset printed magazine, beautiful done. I do remember reading somewhere, I think on the website, if you order back issues of this, it tells you how many of each issue were printed, like 1,500, I think sounds like the average run. So not a ton of these are made, not a ton of each issue are made. It's put together by Everett Rand and Joya Palomari, and it's chock full of underground cartoonists, including, but especially this seems to work off the fact that he had Everett has a relationship with Bob Crumb. So there's a lot of underground cartoonists in here, but there's also that second generation of independent cartoonists, like the Fantagraphics and that time period bunch, from the 80s and 90s. Those people all seem to be really interested in this magazine too. This is the latest issue, is number 44 as I'm doing this video. Here's number 16. It's got a Robert Armstrong cover. It says MINESHAFT, mining the depths for unpredictable visual and literary ore. And, so it's not entirely comics, as you can see here. And over the years, I don't have every issue, and I never tried to get the older issues because they can be kind of expensive. They're collector's items. There's so few of them made, and I would check them out whenever I saw them. They weren't usually, you don't usually find them in regular comic shops. Like right now, I'm usually picking them up at Atomic Books here in Baltimore, Maryland. Atomic Books is a great independent little bookstore that specializes in independent comics and stuff too, lots of them. And you can pick them up there. And so I wouldn't always see them. And as anybody who watches this channel knows, I'm interested in a lot of different things. And obviously, I can't buy everything I might. And so if something doesn't pop in front of my eyes all the time, I might pick up something else instead. But there's all kinds of fun stuff in these issues, illustrations, nice sketchbook stuff from Aline Crumb. And here's Sophie Crumb, the daughter of Aileen and Robert. Some pretty cool stuff there. And the mailbag is usually full of, there's Justin Green, but Justin Green also is in a lot of these issues. Gene Deach, letter from Gene. So, a lot of famous cartoonist types writing in. Now, a lot of the artwork in here, some of it I don't know where it's from. It doesn't say it's from someplace else, and I don't recognize it. So it might be new to this magazine. It might have appeared here first. I don't really know for sure. Some of it I do recognize, but it's from it's not from a place, you know, they're usually not from places that where you're necessarily going to have seen them. So, nice. This Jay Lynch cover here, his Nard and Pat. He passed away a couple years ago. I don't know if that's why he's on this cover. Maybe he's just Art Spiegelman drawing. It's funny. Like I said, great great looking magazine, nice paper. So, a lot of Mary Fleener work in here. Very, very good stuff. More Armstrong. I don't know who. I don't recognize Carl Stevens. Don't know that either. So yeah, so this is MINESHAFT. Like I said, you can go to their website and order it. They have a lot of the older issues, even ones I don't have, but you know, they're priced, you know, they're collector priced. They're not, it's not like they're super cheap there. Although the newest issues are, they're $15 if you buy it in the store, and they're $15 on their website. Like I said, I've been picking mine up at Atomic Books here in Baltimore. And you know, I guess the main reason I wanted to why I was doing this is because you know, Eileen contributed to this magazine, or she allowed her stuff to be printed here, and I remember Eileen was treated as like Yoko Ono, dragging down, like she dragged down John Lennon, and people hated when, a lot of people hated when Eileen was working with, first started doing the dual comics with Robert. But you know, I always liked her work. I loved seeing her solo work. She was a hilarious cartoonist, very funny, very willing to make fun of herself, her friends, but she had a very humanistic outlook to her cartoons, even when she was making fun of people. I think that rubbed off on Crumb's comics. I think some of his 80s and 90s work is some of his absolute best, and it might partially have been her influence on him. It's nice to see them do this. And again, there's one of Sophie Crumb's latest things. I don't think she does comics anymore. She's doing fine art, and boy, that's great looking. That's a wonderful piece there. And the other thing that's in this issue is a excerpt from The Buildings Are Barking, Diane Newman by Bill Griffith. And what that is Bill Griffith has written, made a comic for his wife who passed away. A terrific cartoonist. You know, she did a lot of work for the 80s and 90s female-led anthologies, you know, women's comics, and so on. And she was very funny. She had created this bizarre character, Dee Dee Glitz. And this is actually that comic itself. The Buildings Are Barking. Diane Newman, in memoriam, Bill Griffith. Of course, Bill Griffith, most famous for Zippy the Pinhead. And, you know, I don't know exactly what to think about this comic. I mean, he's trying to put in perspective his thoughts on his partner who has passed. I don't know. You know, this is mostly about her her spirit talking to him about, you know, kind of saying, get over it kind of thing in this first part here. And, you know, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to respond to this. He's kind of laying bare. You're not really getting to know Dee Dee. It is about his despair at losing this person. And I think what you need to do to really get an idea about her passing is to read more of her comics. There's been a lot of them collected in different places. Whether they're still, most of those publications are in print and easy to get, I don't know. But anyway, two women who've had a big impact on independent comics and you know, were great creators. Boy, we've lost some good ones. Makes me, I was just thinking about Dory Sita the other day. One of my favorite comics of all times is comics to read when the neighbors are fucking too loud. And, you know, as any time when an artist you love passes, you go back and reread their stuff. That's what you do. So anyway, that's a little bit of a look at Mineshaft and a little bit of talking about things. You know, Friedman's contributed to these, to Mineshaft over the years. Lots of Crumb. Glenn Head, who I started following on Instagram. He posts some good stuff, and so I pulled a couple of his books out to reread. All good stuff. Everyone, go out there and read some good comics.